So here we are back at the villager resort, and this time I brought along a friend, a pet from a long time ago, Uzi. He's a little slime that follows me around, and I even have commands for him. He's very obedient. Look, sit. Ooh, look at that. Look at, very obedient. Uzi, come. Yeah, this is a little setup I made a long time ago. But yeah, we're back here today, and I have an idea. So you remember how we have these villagers, and they're leading these various creatures around with leashes, like they have their own pets? Well, there's a problem where, like, if they get separated by a door, like, we'll just simulate it here. So this cow is actually about to get stuck anyway. So what happens is, as this villager gets farther and farther away, the animal is stuck, and it doesn't necessarily pathfind in the same way that the villager did, and so the leash breaks. So we need a way to fix that, and I think I know how to do it. So this is one of the things I wanted to show you with Uzi. One of the features of him is that if we get far enough away, he teleports to us, which is actually the same thing that a tamed dog or a tamed cat does. If you get past 16 blocks, they teleport to you as long as they're not sitting. So the way that we can do that with villagers is by using a wonderful new command called execute on leasher, not leader. Leasher. So it's going to target whoever is leashing the entity. Let me just write this out. Oh, I've encountered something a little bit surprising here. So I'm trying to target the OnLeashers and the leashing entities, but look at what showed up. Leash not ally. That's in my iron farm, which means my iron farm is loaded right now, which is actually bad. And that's a bit of a problem because of this. Currently, the iron farm is sort of too good. Totally full, and yeah, we should maybe turn it off. Now, fortunately, this isn't too far off the beaten path, because the main thing I wanted to do today is actually redstone over at the resort village, which is where I left the redstone box. Okay. I might have redstone down here. We need some pistons. Oh yeah, sticky pistons. Ideally some levers. And there's no cobblestone in here, so let's go find our cobblestone using our fancy setup we made, which doesn't show. Is this cobblestone? Oh yeah, there should be cobblestone here. Clearly I have not fixed the display for all of these chests, so we probably only need one. And in case you didn't know, the reason why these entities, all these entities existing is not great is because there is lag that can happen if you have too many item entities. And the fact that this is loaded all the time, as we just discovered, means we're basically just putting extra lag on the world. So all we need to do to turn this off is, oh wow. This thing works way too fast. We just need to put some pistons over by where the iron golems fall down. No, Uzi! Wait! I don't know if he can actually take fire damage. Uzi, sit. He may be invulnerable. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. Oh. Yeah, he does appear to be invulnerable. You know, it's funny. I really, really like redstone, but we never really do it in the world because command blocks have a tendency to substitute for redstone functionality. So, to stop this from running, all we need to do is block the iron golems from falling down, because the villagers will only spawn more iron golems if there are none. So as long as these guys are just chilling here, we'll be all right. So what I want to know is, can we move fence gates with pistons? Because I don't know that off the top of my head. Oop. Because if we can just have them sort of situated in the sky and push them down to block. Oh, hey, what do you know? Wait. Oh. You can make a one-tick pulse by putting a lever on a... Now, I didn't know that. That's actually kind of convenient. That's such a random thing. Sometimes you really just want, like, to do something like this, to set up a one-tick pulse. I didn't know you could just do that. Wow, okay. So, we can move fence gates. So, what are these guys? 3 blocks tall? So we just got to situate it for that. So, that should be a decent setup. Let's just double check that this actually stops the iron golem from falling. Because I usually have these trapdoors open. It kind of helps the... Get out of here. It helps the iron golems not clump up. It helps it be even more efficient. Looks like it works. Oh. There go the logs. Oh, and I'm even missing one here. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, I can't click on the lever. So then if we click the lever, then he can go. And why didn't that one move? Oh, because there's no redstone. So we'll just slap some redstone on here. So we'll slap a lever down. Oh, that rings the bell. Whoops. Okay, so I'm just gonna watch this a little while and see if anything spawns on top of here. Okay, cool. It looks like they're mostly just spawning at the same level as the villagers, which is incredibly convenient. So we can just do that, effectively turn it off. And now we need to clear all these items out, which are actually giving me frame lag. Oh dear. Oh, yeah, okay. There's at least some space in the iron chest. I should probably fill this thing up. Goodness gracious. Only one of the note blocks was triggering. Yeah, there's supposed to be 2 notes. Oh boy. There we go. A little bit of spring cleaning. Now it's all tidied up. Awesome. Okay, so back to what we were doing originally. So, what was I doing? Oh yeah, setting up the leashes. Okay, so... Oh, we're gonna need a couple command blocks. I'm trying to place command blocks and Uzi's getting in the way. I remember why I made him stay at home in his doghouse. He has like a little place where he goes. So... I need to place a block. Got to time it? No. No. Ah, there we go. Everything's harder with Uzi around. Okay, this is a little trickier than I thought. Okay, so we need to lock onto the OnLeasher, but we need to also lock onto the other entity here. And we can't really do both of those at the same time unless we do something clever. So we're going to test something here. Now there's effectively 2 qualities of entities. There's executing as the entity, so like as myself, and then there's executing at the location of the entity. So theoretically, if we could get the first entity to execute as them, and then the second entity to execute at them, we may be able to kind of circumvent the system. But we need to test which of those 2 qualities the OnLeasher thing does. Okay, so this will summon an armor stand at the location of a leasher or of the leashed entity. So let's just click it once and then go find... Oh, okay, this is really good. So that means the OnLeasher is only as. If you understand what I'm about to tell you, I will be very impressed. But so the way this command works is we're using the location of the leashed entity and we're running it as the leasher, which allows us to check if the leasher is too far away from the leashed entity. And then we tag the leashed entity by using the location because we're running it from the location of the leashed entity, so we can use sort equals nearest and limit equals 1. Good luck with that one. Moving on. Wait a second. I think I might be able to do it in one command block. All right, so I found an easier way to test. So we'll just use this command. Well, bam. So I just teleported the villagers, but you'll notice their pets all came with them. Ha 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 ha. Excellent, excellent. Oh, this is so cool. Oh man, it's making this village look awesome. Okay, so I just need to put this command over in the correct location. Break this, that. We don't need those anymore. Replace it and slap it on. So now it's time for the main redstone project, and we're going to be putting it in a different building that doesn't exist. We're actually going to be making the function first. It's probably going to be kind of in this area. And the rough idea for the building will be sort of an L shape. So this will be sort of the hook of the L, and it'll probably go to around here-ish. Again, this is all just rough. The main thing we care about is there's going to be a counter here. And this counter, oops, is going to be a place where we can request villagers. So we can press a button or something and be like, can I see villager number 331? And then the villager will sort of run through this L shape and come here and be like, yes. And then we'll be able to trade with them. So that's the general idea. Just so you can kind of visualize what's going on here, there's something that exists in our world that's pretty similar. So this is a vertical version, and you basically press a button and request a villager, and then you can trade with them. We're going to be doing like a horizontal one, but this is kind of what we're going for. This sort of like villager request type setup. So now that you understand that, it's going to make sense what we're doing today. And that is to make a fee for the villager request thing. So basically we'll have, I don't know, say a hopper here. And then I'll put in like, I don't know, 5 emeralds and press the button. And then a villager will be requested and they'll like get the emeralds. But we need a way to count the amount of emeralds. So we're going to make like one of those classic like payment system things. So that should be fun. So we'll begin at the end, which is the collection point. Or I guess in a way it's the starting point, depending on how you look at it. But I've made one of these little cool bucket things before on a different server, and I wanted to, whoops, try it here. So it's like a stair with a sign on front of it. But if you put a hopper underneath it, then we can toss items, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they get picked up by the hopper. And it's like a really natural looking bucket slot, you know? And we can even put something on the sign, like put emeralds here or whatever. Actually, I kind of like this quartz stair better. So if we have that there, and we'll say the floor is at this level, then we'll just put all the redstone beneath here and try to make it not interfere and go above this point. So now we have our workspace area. And the first thing we're going to want to set up is a item filter, because we only want emeralds getting accepted through, because we're going to have a counting system and then a way of triggering stuff, and so we only want emeralds getting through. We don't want it counting sticks. That'd be no good. Uzi, just get out of the way. No. Stop. Okay. So here's our simple item filter, just a comparator and then a repeater going into a torch. And the torch is what prevents the filtered items from, oh wait. Actually, ideally these should be different items. We should probably go name something, since that's the easiest way to guarantee that items won't overlap. call it filter. So how many is that? 18, 19, 20, 21, and then 1 emerald. Or maybe we just go with 2 emeralds. Since we only have 20 of the filter. So now, if we toss diorite in, nothing happens. Good, good, good. And then we can throw in 5 emeralds. And then they should show up down here. Yep. So now we can move on to the next stage, the counting. So redstone can count fine if you're throwing items in like at this speed. 1, 2, 3. Like there's time for the redstone to process it. But if you have, say, all 5 at once and you toss it in, we need a way to separate the emeralds out so that it can actually individually count them. Fortunately, there's a pretty simple way to do this. We'll slap a dropper on here so that if there's, say, 5 emeralds in there, they will stay there forever. Wait, do those go into the dropper if it's counting? Oh yeah, that's right. It leaves 1 in there. Okay, it's working just fine. I just can't put the items directly in here. So we have the dropper, and then we hook up a comparator that I don't have. There we go. Oh, also, I'm using deep slate bricks because they take a while to destroy. Once you get like netherite and efficiency 5, everything breaks really fast, but deep slate bricks, they stick around for long enough that makes it kind of nice to have as redstone block. You have a little bit of time to be like, oh, wait, actually that breaks pretty fast. I was gonna say you have time to react, but I guess if you have netherite, everything is just too fast. Certainly you have more time to react than if it was like, I don't know, sandstone or something, which I think is what I used to have in there. So we attach the comparator to the dropper, and then the repeater is important because we'll probably need to delay it a little bit, depending on how quickly our counter counts, you know? Oh wait, this needs to be a target block, which we don't have. What? How could that be? Does the farmer have wheat blocks? No. Fine. In my opinion, one of the things that makes redstone fun is the puzzling of it. So this limitation might actually just make it slightly more interesting. So we can't put a block here, so we can't do that because the floor is supposed to be right here. So, oh, you know what we could do? We could put a block here, comparator, and then the redstone will run into the block, I think. Wait, where do we put the repeater now? Ugh, might have to extend it like that. Yep, so now the redstone is going into that block, which will mean that it will trigger this if we put items in. So that's the speed it's at right now. Wait, it doesn't need to be on subtract mode? Okay, we're probably not going to have to increase the delay because this is plenty fast to count, I think. Although we certainly have an option to slow it down if we need to. So that's how we'll separate it out. And what we'll do is we'll have it run into a line of hoppers. And then as they go down the line, we'll have a counting thingy. So we'll put a comparator here so that when the items fly past, they'll trigger. Oh, wait, we need hoppers here, and I think we need some hoppers over. Yeah, okay, we need to make more hoppers. Fortunately, we have way too much iron. Oh man, stuffed inventory alert. Okay, there we go. We might as well just make like a ton of hoppers because, I mean, I always need hoppers. And they're always gone. Like, that's the first thing to use up in the redstone chest. Man, hoppers are kind of expensive. I only made 20 with, like, as much, like a stack of wood. Oh, yeah, I guess it only makes 8 chests. A full stack of wood. That was a not full stack of wood. 34. It's not a very large number, but it's a number that's bigger than what we had a moment ago, so... That's something. I'm going to turn this back into iron blocks. Okay, so now as the items go past, so just put some redstone in here. Oh, this is staying on currently. Let's just, we want this to just like fire a couple times. But yeah, if it's staying on, that is going to not work. That's why we have this delay option here. There we go. Okay, so 2 ticks of delay is the key. So now as the separator sends the item past, we'll have this thing, which will count. We actually can set up a pretty simple counter by just making a dropper go into a hopper, I believe. I think this is the correct design. It's been a while since I made one of these. It's actually really nice to have like sort of like little mini designs of things that you remember. Oh, yeah, maybe I forgot a comparator here. I think there was 2 comparators, right? Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 comparators and then a torch and yeah, okay. So now it counts slowly and then turns off. The items refill back into the dropper and then it can count again. So the trouble is that if there's like, say, a stack of items flowing, it's going to do the oscillation thingy again. Yeah, this. So that's no good. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to need to pause this thing when this thing is full. So we may have actually built this on the wrong side. Because if we want to connect it up, if we want the separator to stop when the counter is like at its finished point, like when this turns off. Oh, maybe I should explain what this does. So the short of how this works is this line locks the hopper. So this can't push any items into the dropper. So when this gets triggered once, do I have a button? We'll just click the lever to simulate the item. So if we just send one item through, then the one item stays over here because the hopper is locked, and the hopper will remain locked as long as there's items in here. Now note, that's kind of the important thing, as long as there's items in there. Because we want it to refill so that it can count again once this is empty. But yeah, if we click it once, the dropper triggers, puts the item in here, and because it's locked, the item stays in here. So this comparator is the important one to watch when we click it the last time. This comparator is just a stabilization thing, as we kind of saw a moment ago. So when we click this lever, you'll notice this turns off, and of course this torch turns on, and because this is on, then this is off, and that means the hopper is unlocked, and it can put all the items back into the dropper. And this comparator sort of makes sure that that happens smoothly. So that's kind of what it does, but you can see that this line is really important to make sure that it's not just like constantly oscillating back and forth. And so we're going to need to hook this up to the separator. So now maybe that makes a little more sense why we're going to do that. And we'll probably just flip it onto the other side. 2 comparators, torch on the top on the dropper side, torch on the side on the hopper side, and then redstone. So I think all we need to do is just run this locking line for the hopper into a redstone torch, which will be inverted. So basically it locks the hopper, and then when it's not locking the hopper, that's when we want to lock this. So they should be inverted correctly. So let's try it. I've been using sticks. Oh, now I don't have a perfect number. Okay. So let's put in 10. It should do 5 and then stop. That looks like a lot more than 5. Yep, now there's like 3 randomly, and oh dear. Oh, that's troll. Okay, this block is on, which is preventing the dropper from firing. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, this is silly. Okay, so I think if we do this, so it's not a full block, then this won't be locked. And we just have to put a torch there. And redstone here. I just put a block here to lock this hopper that's right before the counting, or before it triggers the counter. So we have 3 little microcircuits here: the item filter, the separator in the back, and the counter. And we're going to add a fourth one because as you recall, oops, let me not fall off. So we want to pop in the items, and then we want to press a button and call the villager in, because there will be options. Like this might be librarian, this might be an armorer, this might be like, we're gonna have a lot of different buttons to press. So we don't want it to just immediately assume that it's a librarian. We want to pick which one. So we need the system to sort of pause after it gets the 5 emeralds. And that's what this fourth microcircuit does. It is a sort of a dumb circuit. Basically, you turn it on. So we'll simulate that by just pretending that the 5 items have gotten turned in. And you'll notice this circuit still works. But now that this one has turned on, it stays on. And so that means this won't trigger. So nothing's going there. It means that this is locked, this hopper here. So nothing's moving in there. And the only way that it can be fixed is if we cut the wire. I'm not actually sure if we need a block or if we can just do it with a piston. Let me just see. Oh yeah, we need a block. Oh man, everybody's trying to get in on the action. So we would just need to trigger this piston once to reset it, and any of the buttons can trigger it. So if we press the button, don't comment. No comment. Don't say anything. Okay. If we press the button, it cuts the wire, and now things are reset, and you'll notice the separator is triggering again. The count is triggering again. Oh, well, there was actually too many items in there, but it would be working normally. There we go. And then once it hits 5, you'll notice it stops and everything freezes again. And then we can pick our next villager. So there we have it. 4 microcircuits, and the redstone is pretty much done. Obviously, we'll need to connect it up with some fancy face stuff. We might even want to have like a redstone lamp that gets triggered by this permanent on system. The light is more like a final touch thing, so we would figure that out when we actually design the building. But yeah, so then this would show us that we can press a button. Where's the button? And then that resets it, and then now we know that we can toss in 2, 3, 4, 5 more emeralds. And if everything works, oh, look at that. It turns on and the system stops going. Sweet. Very sweet. This may become a problem if the villagers keep popping down in here. Good thing we are finished, because all we would have to do is just wire up this button to whatever the wall panel is. So like if we want to have them like all the buttons like laid out on top of the counter, then we could do it that way. If we wanted buttons on, say, a wall, we could do it that way. So that we'll leave up to the designing when we do that later in some future episode. But for now, we have working redstone. We have a 5 emerald request fee. It's so cool. I'm going to put all of the emeralds in, and we'll just see what happens here. Okay, so it turns on. Excellent, excellent. And then we're like, oh, we want a librarian. Oh, look, it's a... Did they lose their workstations? They must have both been novices. And, oh, it turned on again. Say we want an armorer this time. And it turns on again. Oh, it's so perfect. And it turns on again. Oh my goodness, it's working like a charm. Look at 15 emeralds, exactly 5. Oh wow, it's so perfect. Sweet. Well, we did it. We made a working redstone contraption. And as much as this doesn't look finished, the redstone is finished and in a very wonderfully functioning state. So I think that is going to do it for this episode. Super happy with that. I've been wanting to make a redstone contraption for a while. So I'm really happy we got the chance to do it here. And I really like that this is going to be a great trade-off in the future. So when we set up the command blocks to like summon the villagers in, we'll have to be paying emeralds for it. So that'll be kind of a fun way to trade it off and sort of make it feel more real. You know, that's kind of the whole thing that we're going for here, is really just making this feel like an actual live village. So they're like, hey, pay me if you want, if you want to summon me from halfway across the map. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's gonna do it from me. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, later.